The most disturbing details from the Diddy trial has been leaked. Cassie Ventura has revealed it all. Multiple witnesses in Sean Diddy Combs' sweeping federal SA crimes trial has testified, recalling years of his alleged harm and violence as prosecutors allege he operated a criminal empire from 2004 to 2024. The biggest testimony so far, however, has come from his former girlfriend of more than a decade. In the first week of testimony in Combs' federal SA trial in New York, Cassie, whose real name is Cassie Ventura, described over 4 days on the witness stand a tumultuous relationship with the music mogul that began in her early 20s and lasted on and off for over a decade. As the government's star witness, her responses gave a window into a world centered around paid intimate encounters lasting days and sometimes occurring weekly, known as freak-offs, that she said she was forced to endure under the threat of physical and psychological harm. Cassie said that she felt trapped and that, the freak-offs were so regular, she said they became a job. Much of what Ventura testified to was graphic, from, the intimate acts with male escorts to the violence, including the fights with Combs that left her covered in bruises. She said if she attempted to refuse a freak-off. A very visibly pregnant Ventura also recounted how she said Combs SA'd her on her living room floor in 2018, which of course he has denied. Ventura said it was under the direction of Combs that she would use illegal substances and have mating with male courts, some found on Craigslist, and paid upward of $6,000. Meanwhile, she said Combs' security was around constantly to provide, supplies, including the illegal substances, wrappers, and baby oil. Now, hanging over their relationship, she said, was the fear that Combs might blackmail her with recorded videos of the acts. She said when she was hosting an event in Atlantic City, New Jersey in 2014, someone she was working with said they saw an explicit video of her. She quickly texted Combs and told jurors that any leaked footage would put her career in jeopardy and could ruin everything she worked for. A year prior to that incident, Ventura said she was mortified when she saw Combs watching a very explicit video of her while they flew home on a commercial flight after having attended the Cannes Film Festival in France. Now, she said he pulled up a freak-off video on his laptop that she thought was deleted. She said he was showing them with other people around, and she said, "You are embarrassing me. I was scared. I felt trapped. How do you get out of this situation?" But to fight off his rage, she said she then arranged a freak-off within hours of them landing. Otherwise, he said the videos would have been released. Now, former federal prosecutor for the District of New Jersey, who now practices criminal defense in New York, said Ventura's testimony has been key because if jurors find her to be credible, she helps the prosecution's case that alleges illegally transporting humans did occur by means of force, fraud, and coercion. He continued to say, if she was coerced by violence or threats of violence or blackmail materials into participating in the freak-offs over her objections, then the trial is over. Everything else, which will go on for weeks, will not matter if the jury accepts that she was a credible witness and they believe beyond a reasonable doubt that she was telling the truth when she said, "I didn't want to do these things. He knew I didn't want to do these things, and the only reason I did them was that I was afraid that he would beat me or that he would release the videos." He added that the way Combs' defense team painted him in their opening statements as, a very overly flawed individual prone to violence and jealousy in his relationships was quite striking. He said, "It's one of the strangest trials that we've seen because the prosecution and defense agree about so many of the facts."
Sean Diddy Combs is currently on trial, facing 5 criminal charges, including racketeering, conspiracy, intimacy tracking by force, fraud, or coercion, and transportation for harlotry. The case centers on allegations from singer Cassie Ventura, who alleges that she endured years of emotional, physical, and intimate harm during her relationship with Sean Diddy Combs. In early 2006, Cassie Ventura met Diddy while already in a relationship. Initially, her relationship with Diddy was platonic, but it later became romantic and intimate. Cassie also admitted that she did cheat on her old partner with Combs. Between 2009 and 2011, Ventura testified that freak-offs, parties in which many guests were under an influence and engaging with each other intimately, allegedly arranged by Combs, became an integral part of their relationship. She describes feeling pressured to participate and suffering health consequences because of them. In a 2009 email provided as evidence, Ventura described the freak-offs as right and the next step in the couple's intimacy intimate life. In the present, upon being asked if they were an important part of the relationship, Ventura said it was an integral part. Ventura went on to describe a particularly rough patch in 2011 after Combs allegedly discovered her affair with rapper Kid Cudi. She recounted a violent incident where Combs kicked her in the back at his home after learning of the infidelity. She admits to using a burner phone to hide her relationship with the other rapper from Combs. Ventura describes frequent physical violence, emotional manipulation, and threats involving intimate videos. She testifies that Combs was controlling, often demanding updates on her whereabouts and becoming angry or suspicious if she was unavailable. Ventura also alleges that Combs struggled with substance abuse, which she claims contributed to his volatility. The trial revealed mutual infidelity, with both Ventura and Combs engaging in relationships outside of their own. Ventura admits to jealousy over Combs' ex-girlfriend, Kim Porter, and expresses pain over not being included in Combs' family life. The defense highlights Ventura's previous success in music and modeling, suggesting that she was not under Combs' influences, control, and questioning her motives for participating in the alleged activities. Cassie Ventura has taken the stand for 3 days of testimony now, detailing her experiences and enduring a lengthy, continuous cross-examination by Combs' attorneys. The defense attempts to portray her as a willing participant and to challenge her credibility, focusing on explicit emails, text messages, and her financial motives. The trial has been marked by tense exchanges between the judge and Combs' legal team, especially regarding the slow pace of this cross-examination. The judge has insisted that Ventura, who is 8 months pregnant, complete her testimony within the week. The defense's questioning has been described as disjointed, with frequent objections from the prosecution. The judge has called for recesses, particularly when explicit content was discussed in court. Cassie's and other witnesses' graphic depictions of events is uncomfortable for anyone to hear, but particularly hard for Diddy's own family. Many family members have shown up to the proceedings to support this former rapper. However, not everyone has stayed. It was reported May 14th that Diddy's daughters did excuse themselves from the courtroom after a particularly hard Ventura argument.
Was Donald Trump a guest at Diddy's freak-off parties? What in the presidential controversy is going on? A former go-go dancer made a shocking revelation that she was tricked out to a roster of A-list celebrities at Sean Diddy Combs' crazy freak-off parties. The former dancer, Adria Sherry English, claimed that she was surprised when American rapper Sean Diddy Combs disclosed the A-list celebrity guests at his party. The list, which included several A-lister celebs, had one very important person also on it. Dun dun dun, President Donald Trump. English expressed earlier this year that Diddy forced her to indulge in physical relations with guests at his infamous freak-offs following her performance at his star-studded bash in 2004, and according to reports, she made a complaint against the American rapper this past summer before his arrest for all of his gazillion charges against him. Now, US President Donald Trump has been named as an attendee of these freak-off parties and has been labeled as someone who's taken advantage of her, alongside Diddy in her lawsuit she filed against Combs. So what really went on at these freak-offs? Well, the adult entertainer actually told the Daily Mail that she had been forced to participate in freak-offs at the parties after being hired to just simply perform at his star-studded bashes, which have included his infamous white parties. Now, English claims that she was pressured into engaging in intimate acts with prominent individuals at the music mogul's parties, which were often held at his annual white party in the Hamptons, as well as other events in Miami. Now, these acts, she alleges, took place in secluded rooms away from the main festivities, with many guests likely unaware of the illicit activities going on. She claims to have seen many celebrities in attendance, and none of them doing anything to stop anything. She said most people are aware, but some are not. And she also mentioned that, the freak-offs would take place in separate rooms away from the main gathering, and so some guests would not have actually been aware of these alleged activities taking place, but the whispers were hard to ignore, and she said anyone with some situational awareness would have been able to see or know what was actually happening. But on the other hand, she also said alcohol was at play also, so most people were inebriated. Now, she said she initially took the opportunity to work for Combs in the early 2000s, thinking it would be a breakthrough for her career in the entertainment industry. She was actually offered about $500 per performance. Now, her first paid gig at Combs' 2004 white party was the legitimate without any expectations of illicit favors, and said that she became a pawn in Combs' scheme to manipulate influential guests by secretly recording their intimate encounters and holding the footage as leverage. Combs is currently lodged in jail without the option of bail as he awaits trial in a federal criminal activity case. The music mogul, who faces a possible life sentence if convicted, has pleaded not guilty to the criminal charges. More than 100 people have also filed lawsuits against the rapper, alleging that he subjected them to SA over the past 2 months. Now, testimony from a male adult worker regarding Combs' alleged activities have also surfaced recently, potentially leading to further charges. Allegations have been building against the Grammy Award winner since last year, when Cassie Ventura, better known as Cassie, accused Combs of subjecting her to more than a decade of coercion by physical force and illegal substances, as well as a 2018 SA incident.
Since the federal indictment and subsequent arrest of Sean Diddy Combs, several high-profile figures have commented on the situation. LL Cool J, who worked with Diddy as an executive producer on the 1996 album Phenomenon, expressed concern for Diddy's children, stating, "I feel for his children. The rest, I can't speak on, that's what we've got the court system for." This sentiment of empathy for Diddy's family, while withholding judgment on the allegations themselves, has been echoed by others in the industry. Artists like Kesha and Will Smith, as well as many other stars, have also addressed the allegations. Smith has been spotted hanging out with Diddy many times over the years, so he was eager to clear the air when it came to his connections to Diddy and the allegations against him. "I just want to say this very clearly. I don't have anything to do with Puffy, so you can all stop all the memes. I ain't been nowhere near no freak off. Listen, I do enough of my own stuff, don't be putting me in other people's stuff." Kesha made her stance very clear when she changed the lyrics to her song TikTok. The original lyrics, written years ago, were "Wake up in the morning feeling like P. Diddy." Recently, during live performances of the song, those lyrics have been changed to "Wake up in the morning saying F. P. Diddy." Some celebrities have chosen to remain neutral, emphasizing the importance of due process. Others have voiced support for the alleged victims and called for accountability within the entertainment industry. The collective response from celebrities highlights the tension between personal relationships, public image, and the gravity of the accusations. The most significant allegations come from Cassie Ventura, Diddy's former partner, who has testified that Combs harmed and controlled her during their relationship. According to testimony and reports, Cassie describes a pattern of manipulation and violence, painting a disturbing picture of life behind the scenes with the music mogul. Her willingness to come forward has reportedly encouraged others to share their stories, leading to over 120 intimate harm allegations and lawsuits against Combs, claims that he has categorically denied. The trial and the public statements from celebrities mark a turning point for the music and entertainment industries, which have long grappled with issues of harm and power imbalances. While Diddy maintains his innocence and his legal team decries a reckless media circus, the chorus of voices breaking their silence signals a broader cultural shift. More stars are choosing to speak out, whether to support survivors, call for justice, or simply acknowledge the pain caused by the allegations. As the trial unfolds, the world watches not only to see the outcome for Diddy, but also to watch how the entertainment industry responds to one of its most high-profile reckonings yet.
Jay-Z admits he is going to expose Diddy in court. Jay-Z would prioritize his own defense in the face of these allegations, and Jay-Z is willing to compromise his loyalty to Diddy. He also stated on the record that he is determined to avoid imprisonment at all costs. I wonder if this also includes lying about everything. Jay-Z was implicated in a civil lawsuit alleging he inappropriately assaulted a female minor alongside Combs in 2000 following the MTV Video Music Awards. Jay-Z's legal team has denied the allegations. The news has sparked renewed interest in his past relationship with Diddy, who was also named in the lawsuit. According to the accuser, she was a minor when she was invited to the after-party by a friend. She alleges that Jay-Z and Diddy then took her to a private room where the events took place. The woman also claims that they told her not to tell anyone about the incident. The anonymous accuser, identified only as Jane Doe, the federal lawsuit, originally instituted in October within the Southern District of New York, with Combs as a named defendant, underwent an amendment on Sunday to incorporate Carter as an additional defendant. Tony Busby, the Texas-based attorney who filed the lawsuit, declined to comment. Jay-Z issued a comprehensive statement Sunday evening, categorically dismissing the allegations as idiotic, and further accusing attorney Busby of engaging in unprofessional conduct. He said, "These allegations are so heinous in nature that I implore you to file a criminal complaint, not a civil one. Whomever would commit such a crime against a minor should be locked away. Would you not agree?" Legal counsel representing Mr. Combs characterized the lawsuits as shameless publicity stunts intended to coerce financial settlements from prominent individuals through the dissemination of fabricated allegations, a tactic they assert has also been employed against Mr. Combs. In response to the allegations, Jay-Z's lawyer Alex Spiro released a statement saying that the claims are false and defamatory. He also said that Jay-Z strongly denies any and all allegations of this matter. Diddy's lawyer Kevin Yorn also denied the allegations, saying that they are categorically false and malicious. He added that Diddy has never had any contact with this woman or anyone else without their consent. The woman's lawyer, Lisa Bloom, said that her client is ready to tell her story to the world. She also said that she is confident that the woman's allegations are true. Well, according to the lawsuit, she was given a beverage that caused her to experience dizziness, lightheadedness, and an overwhelming urge to rest. She subsequently retired to a separate room. Shortly thereafter, the suit alleges, Combs and Carter entered the room, with Combs exclaiming, "You are ready to party!" The lawsuit alleges that Jay-Z forcibly removed her clothes and took advantage of her while Jay-Z and an unnamed female celebrity observed, "Could this unnamed female celebrity be Jennifer Lopez? Or are we going to be totally shocked to find out Beyoncé might be involved in all of this as well? Beyoncé was friends with Diddy as well, so should we even be surprised?" The accuser is seeking an unspecified amount of monetary compensation and has initiated legal proceedings under the provisions of New York's Victims of Gender-Motivated Violence Protection Act. According to an insider, Jay-Z, who is married to Beyoncé, began to exhibit a degree of emotional detachment from Combs subsequent to the latter's arrest on charges of trafficking, racketeering, and transportation for the purpose of adult activities earlier in the year. However, a third source indicated that regardless of Jay-Z's motives, Jay-Z benefits from having another influential figure involved in challenging the allegations against him. The source stated, "Diddy appreciates that Jay-Z is contesting the same accusations leveled against him. Jay's success would significantly bolster Diddy's own defense. Jay-Z's legal battles could shift public and media attention away from Diddy's own case, providing him with some temporary respite. Diddy is currently awaiting trial in New York City jail. If convicted, he faces a sentence of anywhere from 15 years to life in prison, but it also depends how many different charges he gets and what evidence is brought up during the legal proceedings." Diddy and Jay-Z have been friends for decades, so it's hard to believe that Jay-Z doesn't know a lot of information about all of these claims, or if he actually participated in some of the activities with Diddy. Beyoncé will perform live on Netflix during the streaming service's first ever NFL Christmas game day. The question is, will Beyoncé still go through with this if Jay-Z is taken into custody and sitting in a prison cell right next to Diddy?
Sources confirm that he was transported to a nearby hospital about 10 p.m. to undergo an MRI. Now, the medical scan was authorized because his knee was bothering him, citing the rapper's long history of knee issues after he ran the New York Marathon, a source said. Now, the insider added that the hospital visit was done late at night in order to avoid drawing attention from the inmates or prison staffers. Now, Diddy did not stay overnight and was taken back to his cell after the MRI concluded, the source said. A Bureau of Prisons spokesperson told the Post, "For privacy, safety, and security reasons, we do not comment on the conditions of confinement for anyone in our custody, to include medical status or medical trips." Law enforcement sources said that they were given a heads up about what occurred though, just in case it was leaked and they would have chaos. Now, I'm gonna be honest, this doesn't sound too serious to me. Now, Diddy has been in jail since September 2024 for running a crime ring for decades where he and others mistreated and took advantage of many people. The case against him is so serious that he's actually been denied bail 3 separate times. His lawyers unsuccessfully tried to keep him out of jail, requesting his release to home detention, travel restrictions, and a $50 million bond in Manhattan court. Now, prosecutors argued that Diddy is a serious flight risk and that he has the money, manpower, and tools to flee without detection. On October 10th, during an appearance in Manhattan, prosecutors revealed that authorities seized 96 electronic devices in raids of Diddy's Miami and Los Angeles homes, as well as a private airport in South Florida. Prosecutors say that Diddy might face more charges, something they have floated during prior court proceedings. And then, once again, he was denied bail. U.S. Attorney Damian Williams claimed his office had the testimony testimony of dozens of witnesses and victims to his serial mistreatment and evidence from dozens of his own electronic devices and those of his co-conspirators. Investigators have taken more than 90 cell phones, laptops, cloud storage accounts, as well as at least 30 storage devices. They issued more than 300 grand jury subpoenas to obtain this evidence from communication providers, tech and social media companies, financial institutions, and Diddy's companies. Now, prosecutors allegedly have dozens of videos depicting Diddy's so-called freak-offs that corroborate witness testimony. Now, mid-November, it was reported that Diddy had tried to reach out to prospective witnesses and influence public opinion from jail in a bid to affect potential jurors for his upcoming trial. Prosecutors claimed in a court filing that was part of a bail request. Then, for a third time near the end of that month, he was denied bail again. Again, his lawyers had proposed a $5 million bail package that they said would ensure the rapper did not flee or try to intimidate other potential trial witnesses. Now, in a bail hearing, the judge said the court finds that the government has shown by clear and convincing evidence that no condition or combination of conditions will reasonably assure the safety of the community. Given the nature of the allegations in this case and the information provided by the government, the court doubts the sufficiency of any conditions that place trust in Diddy and individuals in his employ, like a private security detail, to follow these conditions. So, yeah. Diddy's still in jail, and his trial is set for May 5th, 2025, so we'll just have to see what comes out of that. But Diddy is not a fan of being in jail though, as he has repeatedly complained about the conditions. In October, it was reported that he'd been assigned to the special housing unit, where he is reportedly forced to sleep on the floor. Sources told Radar Online that the disgraced mogul has also refused to eat the food in jail because he feared it would be tampered with. Now, it's also reported that the other inmates taunt the rapper with the lyrics from his songs. It's also been said that Diddy is sad and lonely while in prison, according to the psychiatric team who see him every day, as quoted in a report by the Daily Star. According to prison expert Larry Levine, Diddy is currently having difficulty adjusting to life behind bars and receives daily visits from a group of psychologists. The specialist stated that his mental health is being given priority in an interview with the Trial of Diddy podcast. He isn't really under watch for being at risk of taking his life, but there are people visiting him multiple times a day, to check on him, Larry said. Someone from the psychology department is coming to visit with him, so they play a game with the prisoners. Now, Diddy is not only in the news for being sent to the hospital for his knee, but he's also had more lawsuits filed against him. A former bottle service attendant has just filed a lawsuit against Diddy, claiming she was taken advantage of by a club promoter at Diddy's direction. The woman who filed the suit anonymously as Jane Doe claims in the late 90s she attended an event hosted by Diddy at the Limelight nightclub in New York City. She says the club had 5 floors, and the top 2 were reserved for intimate parties. Now, she says nothing happened to her at Limelight, but she and her friend made their way to the Trump Hotel in Midtown, and she claims that she never wanted to go, but Diddy made it clear that they did not have a choice. The woman says that she and her friend were taken to a penthouse suite, along with Diddy and several other men. She claims they were then held hostage in the room and taken advantage of. She also says that in 1997 she went to a party at Diddy's house in the Hamptons after a friend told her she could earn $2,000 as a bottle service attendant. She claims she was given substances and taken advantage of by Diddy's associates at his direction. Now, she also says that she recalls seeing Combs fully naked at one point and witnessing another man being intimate with him. Now, a second lawsuit was also just filed by another woman, also a Jane Doe, claiming that she was taken advantage of twice, first by Diddy and then by others at his command. Now, this woman is actually friends with the other Jane Doe because it says that she and a friend were at Limelight and ended up at Trump's hotel. Now, she claims that while in the penthouse she was taken advantage of by a security guard while Diddy watched. Not to mention, just last week, another lawsuit was filed by a John Doe. Now, he had aspirations of becoming a rapper and singer, and in 2015, the 23-year-old was scheduled to open for a popular music artist at a series of Los Angeles nightclubs, including QC's 2020. Now, prior to his performance, he was told that Diddy would be there, and that if the performance went well, Diddy would consider signing him to Bad Boy Records. It went well, and he then met Diddy backstage, where he was then given substances unknowingly. This John Doe then drifted in and out of consciousness, business, witnessing Diddy and his entourage being intimate with each other, and he believes that Diddy took advantage of him as well. After he regained consciousness, he tried to fight off Diddy, but was told that it would ruin his chances of succeeding in music if he didn't comply. Now, Diddy allegedly ordered him to be intimate with a woman, but after pretending he needed water and to use the bathroom, the John Doe escaped to the parking lot and drove off. Now, all three of these lawsuits were filed by Tony Busby, who has made it clear in the media that he's willing to help whoever needs it when it comes to Diddy. He said that he plans to file more than 10 lawsuits in the next 7 to 10 days, as a deadline approaches on March 1st in New York, the last day of a law that allows victims to file civil lawsuits despite an expired statute of limitations. Now, he isn't just going after Diddy though, but anyone who was involved in the crimes, like Diddy's friend and fellow rapper, Jay-Z. Last year, Tony disclosed that he sent out demand letters to celebrities asking them to pay up or face the consequences. Now, he'd also previously mentioned that investigations into Diddy's case had implicated several Hollywood big shots, but at the time, he refrained from dropping names. Now though, he says that he's going after other celebrities who attended Diddy's freak-offs, even if they did nothing wrong. In an appearance on TMZ documentary The Downfall of Diddy, Inside the Freak-Offs, Tony claims such big names are as guilty as those who perpetrated the crimes, explaining that their silence and unwillingness to stand against it makes them liable. Currently, Diddy is facing more than 30 civil lawsuits against him, but again, he claims his innocence. Diddy's legal team told TMZ, "As we've said before, Mr. Combs cannot respond to every new publicity stunt, even in response to claims that are ridiculous or demonstrably false." They continue by saying Mr. Combs and his legal team have full confidence in the facts and the integrity of the judicial process. In court, the truth will prevail.
As soon as fans started to speculate that she was involved with Diddy during these parties, Megan Fox deleted her whole Instagram account and deleted all her tweets. Something for sure happened, and Megan Fox is trying to delete her entire involvement. Machine Gun Kelly was offered a glimpse into Diddy's extravagant lifestyle, recounting a memorable experience where they engaged in a non-stop 2-day party marathon, forgoing sleep entirely. Machine Gun Kelly said he was about 20 years old when he partied with Diddy. But now, with all these allegations coming out now about Diddy, I am sure Machine Gun Kelly regrets speaking publicly about anything. We also have LeBron James on this list, who said something insane publicly that I am sure he deeply regrets as well, but we will get to him later. Tobey Maguire and Leonardo DiCaprio have been close friends for many years, and rumors are just coming out now that Tobey Maguire, yes, Spider-Man, has attended some Diddy parties. Apparently he was spotted with 20-year-old Lily Chi at the white parties, and there might be pictures coming to the surface. Heidi Klum might not be able to hide anymore. Photos of Diddy dressed as the Pope at Heidi Klum's 2008 Halloween party have resurfaced. Heidi Klum can no longer say she has not partied with Diddy. Diddy, all dressed up as the Pope, was caught on camera blessing everyone and even dancing on a table at Heidi Klum's party. His girlfriend at the time, Cassie Ventura, was there too in a Wonder Woman costume. Nick Cannon recalled one of his earliest experiences attending a party hosted by Diddy. Nick Cannon recalled attending one of his first Diddy parties as a teenager. Now this is massive because Nick Cannon is stating that he was just a teenager attending these types of parties. I just don't see a world where Diddy isn't convicted and stays in prison for the rest of his life. Nick Cannon was underage when he attended. Nick Cannon on an episode of the Breakfast Club podcast saying he was like 16 or 17 years old when he attended the Diddy party. Nick Cannon is currently 44 years old. These parties have been going on for decades. There must have been hundreds of celebrities who attended these freaky illegal parties. How did this happen for so long? Howard Stern has talked about his Diddy party experience on his show The Howard Stern Show. He said, "There were girls in bathing suits running around by the pool." Despite not suspecting any wrongdoing, Stern described feeling uncomfortable and even abhorrent during his visit to one of Diddy's parties, recalling that he was not even permitted to use the bathroom. Is Howard Stern telling the whole truth? Nothing but the truth? Also, let us know if we missed anyone who you think should be on this list. Usher. He has acknowledged exposure. Usher has acknowledged being exposed to a different set of things while living with Diddy, including adult situations. Usher and Diddy have a significant professional relationship. Diddy mentored Usher early in his career, providing guidance and support as he rose to fame. This mentorship likely fostered a strong bond between them, leading to Usher's frequent attendance at Diddy's events. Justin Bieber? In an old video on his official YouTube channel, Justin Bieber revealed that Usher, his mentor and label executive, loaned him to Diddy for 48 hours. Where we're hanging out and what we're doing, we can't really disclose, but it's definitely a 15-year-old's dream. I have been given custody of him, Diddy stated in the video. Justin Bieber has said many times that in this industry, he has seen so many things that he is not proud of. He was so young and was taken advantage of. That's why Justin Bieber just struggles so much, and he doesn't even enjoy touring anymore and being in the spotlight. He would be devastated if he had to testify during the Diddy hearing. Frequent guest. Naomi Campbell has been a frequent guest at Diddy's parties over the years. There were rumors of a brief romantic involvement between her and Combs in the early 2000s. Ashton Kutcher and Diddy were once close friends. As soon as the news about Diddy came out, Mila Kunis apparently distanced herself from Ashton Kutcher. What does Mila Kunis know? LeBron James has publicly said, "Ain't no party like a Diddy party." LeBron James has put himself at the place of a potential crime. When the video clip of LeBron James resurfaced, LeBron James went missing for the Los Angeles Lakers. They listed him as personal time off, but no one knew what was going on. Oprah has been acting very differently. Oprah has attended Diddy's parties. She has been spotted at some of his famous parties, which are known for their star-studded guest lists. Oprah's attendance at Diddy's parties has been documented in photos and media reports. So there is no way for Oprah to deny that she has attended a Diddy party. Oprah would have a lot of information about what actually took place at these parties. Imagine she was summoned into court to give statements. Oprah has not publicly commented on the allegations against Diddy. She has not publicly addressed her past attendance at his parties, or commented on the recent allegations against him. This does not make sense. If you didn't do anything or see anything, why not clear your name on the record? If the allegations against Diddy are proven to be true, Oprah's past association with him could be used against her in legal or reputational battles. Now, imagine seeing Oprah sentenced to prison for life. Russell Brand has spoken about attending a Diddy party in the past. He described it as a white party. Brand has also spoken about leaving the party early, suggesting that he felt uncomfortable or out of place in that environment. He has stated that he felt not qualified to handle stuff that went on at the party, implying that he witnessed or experienced something that made him uneasy. So this does mean Russell Brand does have a lot of information. If he saw things that took place at the party but said nothing, are you not just as guilty? The Weeknd, a globally renowned singer and songwriter, has been photographed at various events with Diddy, suggesting they've socialized together. Jay-Z is about to turn his back on his longtime friend and said that he isn't going to hold back any information. Jay-Z is facing a lawsuit alleging he did something to an underage girl at an after-party for the 2000 MTV Video Music Awards. The plaintiff, identified as Jane Doe, claims she was given something and was taken advantage of by Jay-Z and Diddy. The plaintiff, Jane Doe, has been granted anonymity by the court to protect her privacy and mental health. Jay-Z tried to get this case thrown out, but the judge fired back and said this case will move forward. Jay-Z's legal team has argued that the lawsuit is legally flawed and should be dismissed. They have likely raised various legal arguments, such as lack of sufficient evidence, statute of limitations, and potential procedural issues. As of right now, the most likely person to sit in the prison cell with Diddy is his best friend Jay-Z. Diddy is facing multiple lawsuits. Diddy has been facing multiple lawsuits with various allegations, including assault and trafficking. Despite having a strong legal team, Diddy remains in jail. Sources say this has been difficult for him, especially during the holidays. A source close to Diddy, however, refutes claims of a meltdown. They confirm he misses his family dearly, particularly during Christmas, a time he traditionally spends with his children. This news comes as a judge recently ruled that an Alabama woman can proceed anonymously in her lawsuit against Diddy and Jay-Z, accusing them of assault when she was a minor. A far cry from his opulent lifestyle, Diddy faced a bleak Christmas in a Brooklyn jail cell. The disgraced music mogul remains incarcerated, allegedly continuing his refusal of prison meals as his legal proceedings move forward.
Now, a new trailer for the documentary Diddy, The Making of the Bad Boy by Peacock has been released, and the doc comes out on January 14th. Now, its main purpose is to explore the criminal allegations made against Diddy. It shows that viewers will be getting an inside look into the star from his intern, producer, friend, bodyguard, and makeup artist. Now, according to Peacock, the film will look into Diddy's early years, his decades-long transformation to Puffy and then Diddy, with crucial insight into the forces that shaped the man and may have made him a monster. Now in the trailer, it shows many new clips that we've never seen before, like him partying, yelling at people to stop filming him, and him in the studio telling someone, "I can show you how we have fun and stay out of jail too." Right there, that seems so incriminating to me, and like he really knew what he was doing was wrong, as innocent people aren't scared of the police like that. Now, according to Peacock's official synopsis, Diddy, the Making of a Bad Boy is a raw, exclusive look at Sean Combs long before he was known as Puff or Diddy. Featuring never-before-seen footage and stories from those who know him best, Diddy, the Making of a Bad Boy sheds light on his childhood, rise to fame, and recent criminal allegations, challenging viewers to rethink everything they thought they knew about the mogul behind the music and the mugshot. Now, I think this will give us a lot of new information about the star that we previously didn't know. Diddy, though, is not a fan of this documentary, as his lawyer put out a statement that said, "These documentaries include unchecked claims and provide platforms for baseless conspiracy theories without accountability or evidence." They added, in the case of the Peacock documentary in particular, the motivations and credibility of those being interviewed must be questioned. Many claim to have knowledge but lack any connection to the truth, while their wild, unfounded theories are cut and sensationalized to appear factual. Now, Diddy has denied everything he's been accused of so far, so it really doesn't surprise me that he's denying the things that are going to be said in this documentary. In March of 2024, Diddy's house was raided, and then that September, he was arrested for running a crime ring for decades. Now, since he's been in prison, he's been accused of many more crimes and has faced many more lawsuits. It just does not look good for him at all. I mean, his team requested bail and judges denied it 3 different times. Now, the last judge said, "I don't believe that counsel has the ability to control you, given the very significant concerns I have, particularly because of substance use and what seems like anger issues. The danger, I think, is quite serious." They added of Combs' release, deciding that the bond package his team offered would not assure his return to the court or the safety of the community or lack of witness tampering. Now, fellow rapper 50 Cent has always seen through Diddy and the type of person he is. I mean, 50 Cent has been calling out Diddy since the early 2000s and has continued to defend what he said in the past. He's been very public about not going to Diddy parties and saying how weird they were. When Diddy's house got raided in March this year, 50 Cent poked fun at the star, and after Diddy was arrested in September for various crimes, 50 Cent said he knew this all along and was happy that people were finally listening to him. "Look, it seems like I'm doing some extremely outrageous things, but I haven't," he told People in October. "It's really me just saying what I've been saying for 10 years. He added, "Now it's becoming more full-facing in the news with the Puffy stuff, but away from that, I'm like, yo, it's just my perspective, because I stayed away from all that stuff the entire time, because this is not my style." Now, 50 Cent is actually also making a documentary about Diddy called Diddy He Do It. Now, it's been said that it will follow a complex narrative spanning decades, Sears director Alexandria Stapleton told Variety. So it seems like we're getting another documentary, so buckle up, people. Now, I'm sure that 50 will do everything he can to get the real truth out, no matter how horrible it is, which will probably piss Diddy off, if we're being honest. One thing Diddy is really worried about getting out is all the information about his freak-offs at his parties. U.S. Attorney Damian Williams claimed his office has the testimony of dozens of witnesses and victims to Diddy's serial mistreatment and evidence from dozens of his own electronic devices and those of his co-conspirators. Investigators have taken more than 90 cell phones, laptops, cloud storage accounts, as well as at least 30 storage devices. They issued more than 300 grand jury subpoenas to obtain this evidence from communication providers, tech and social media companies, financial institutions, and Combs companies. The prosecutors allegedly have dozens of videos depicting Diddy's so-called freak-offs that corroborate witness testimony. Now, it's alleged that the rapper would coerce and manipulate victims into taking part in day-long hour-long performances, which he dubbed freak-offs. Now, Diddy's associates would allegedly give the victims substances to keep them compliant and would make threats against anyone refusing to engage. In October, a witness who testified before the grand jury in Diddy's trial previously claimed that he had seen videos of major celebrities being victimized at the hip-hop mogul's notorious freak-off parties. Courtney Burgess testified before the grand jury about the tapes, which he says comes from a flash drive kept by Diddy's ex, Kim Porter. Courtney described some of what the footage shows, claiming all of the stars featured appeared to be under the influence of substances or alcohol. Now, he did not name any of the celebrities said to be in the videos, but he claims that the videos were taken by cameras in Diddy's homes that were not always obvious to those in the room. Now, it appears that these tapes are real, as Daniel Baldwin has claimed celebrities are in a bidding war over the alleged Diddy tapes amid fears their alleged participation in the rapper's parties will be revealed. They're driving that price up, because if you want your client and your famous actor to not be involved or famous singer to not come out, here's the price. And they're just selling to individuals that are in those. That's what I've heard. They're selling those videos, he said. Now, he theorized that a person who did appear in the videos would be fearful the footage would be released, stating the possible participant would not want the video to come out. Now, Diddy added that what differentiated a Diddy party from a typical gathering was the manner in which they ended. Does anyone ever come up to you at a certain hour and say, okay, it's time to go? At those parties, they did. At the certain time, he shut it down, but not everyone left. So anyone that wasn't super famous, or I'm with him, or whatever, were exited from the house. You were gone. Now, this is similar to what an anonymous source told Us Weekly too. They were known to be wild, a source who attended the party shared in an issue. Anything went at those parties. Now, according to multiple sources, unsavory behavior took place at Diddy's after parties. As I said, what happened before 2 a.m. pales in comparison to what happened at 5 a.m., said the first source. Now, a second source who wrangled guests for Diddy's white parties between 2006 and 2011 similarly told Us Weekly that high-profile celebs would leave around 2 or 3 a.m. because they knew the party was going to take a turn. Girls would start to lose their clothes, and that was a signal for people to leave, explains the source. Which, just, Diddy needs to be locked up for a long time for what he did. Now, not to mention, in the documentary trailer, it appears that they briefly touch on the subject of these freak-offs. One anonymous source who claimed to have been with Sean for quite a while and captured a lot of moments says anytime a studio or any room is red, he's making love. Among some other things that I really can't say here. Now, it's honestly just gross, and it seems like so many people knew what was going on, but no one stood up against it. Now, thankfully, they're speaking up now, but if someone spoke up sooner, there could have been so many victims who could have been saved. Now, currently, Diddy's trial is set for May 5th, 2025, and everyone will be paying attention to it. He'll continue to maintain his innocence, but hopefully it will be televised so people will be able to see the evil, disgusting person he truly is.